Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wavy Baller Hub. Guys, another live stream. I'm excited to be here. If this is your first time watching with me, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and follow the movement that is the Wavy Baller Hub. Guys, it's been probably a week since I've gone live. If you're watching on Twitter right now, make sure to go over to YouTube, search the Wavy Baller Hub, and click on the live stream. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the subscriptions up. First couple of points of order. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone. I've hit 200 subscribers on the channel. I'm really excited about that. We're pushing for 1,000 before June. It's going to be really difficult to get there, but we're going to keep trying. Okay, guys, and appreciate all the love and support so far. Also, we want to make sure that and me and my guest will talk about this a little bit. I'm going to pick his brain, but obviously today is a very somber day for all Manchester United fans. We're honoring the lives lost in the Munich air disaster today. We're taking that very seriously here on this channel. We want to make sure we give the appropriate love and respect to all the lives who were affected that day. Big moment in our club. But outside of that, guys, today we're going to be talking about the debacle that was Friday, losing to Middlesbrough, as well as looking forward ahead into to Tuesday. And previewing the Burnley versus Manchester United game. I have a very special guest with me, guys, who will be joining the show. A friend of mine. I met him on All for United, and we've been friends ever since. We've done so many streams together, and he became a friend. And I want to give the love here to my man, the one himself, Neil. What is going on?
Neil, what is going on? Afternoon or morning for your good self. See,
yes, sir.
In this country, this time of day, it's a glass of champagne. It's a toast to you, Temi, and our first show together, my friend.
I appreciate that, Neil. I appreciate that. It's been a while since we've done something like this. It's been a while since we've done something. So I'm excited for it. Really excited for it.
Yeah, and me.
Yes, sir. So, guys, like I said, make sure if you're on Twitter, I'm going to take a look right now. Make sure to hit the like button for me. Join us over on YouTube. I'm going to retweet it right now on Twitter. Join us over on YouTube. And we will have a great discussion. All right, guys. So, Neil, I know you watched the game on Friday. Absolute disaster. Go out in the FA Cup against Middlesbrough. I couldn't believe it watching it myself. Stuck away from work a little bit to watch it. I couldn't believe how we got the penalties, considering the amount of chances we had. What were your thoughts on that game? Obviously heartbreaking for us, but interested to hear your thoughts.
Well, it was quite a strange week last week leading up to the game because I decided to go out and buy a brand new television. So I moved my televisions around in my house and I got my new spanking TV, and the first football match we were going to watch was that garbage on Friday night, because at the end of the day, it was garbage because the result was garbage, as well as we played in the first half. And I must have had maybe a dozen text messages of friends saying you should be 3 to 4 up. But the point is, we weren't. So the longer we left it, and you just knew it was coming. A bit like an exorcism. You knew it's coming, but there's not a lot you can do about it. It was just coming and coming. And the longer the game went on, I just thought we were starting to lack confidence. Middlesbrough grew into the game. Middlesbrough, we shouldn't have to put out basically our strongest team to beat a sort of top 10 championship side at home in the FA Cup. Whereas in reality, that's the only trophy we had possibly got a chance of winning.
That's
we ain't winning the league. We ain't winning the Premier League. We ain't in the Premier League. We're not winning the European Cup. Anybody who thinks that, nuts. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
And I said this months ago on another platform. And when we went out the Carabao Cup, people were saying, well, that's all right. It's a small cup. No, it's not all right. We need some silverware. Exactly. I said at the start of the season, Solskjaer needed silverware to get through. We were never going to win anything under him.
Right.
We've now got another interim. I'm not sure how committed the players are to another interim manager. Until we get full-time manager and until we know who that is, we're going to keep getting results like Friday. And we've got another banana skin coming up on Tuesday against Burnley, in my opinion.
And that's the real annoying part about this whole situation is I remember when we lost the Carabao Cup against West Ham, and people were like, "Oh well, it's not that big of a deal. It's it's just the Carabao Cup. Like we've won any trophies in the past 4 or 5 years." And then again, I don't think the players aren't trying. I don't think that was the case. On Friday, I thought that they put forth effort, but I think here's the harsh reality, Neil. They're not that good. They're not that good, and I think that because we have a lot of star names, some are way past their prime. Some are trying to prove something for themselves. Some have proved something for themselves, but they've hit a lull in their career.
Some shouldn't have been signed in the first place.
Exactly. So there's just a bunch of a mishmash of players from different managers, different styles, and they're not that good. They're not that good. We've overhyped so many of these players. We have.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. We've still got the same problem today that we had when Solskjaer took the interim job. So we still haven't got proper holding midfielder. And when I say a proper one, I'm not talking about, some bloke who can play in the hole in front of the back two. A proper defensive midfielder.
Right.
Now, I know people that I've said to in the past, I didn't think Declan Rice was the answer. But he has been outperforming West Ham recently. The problem we've got is we're not going to, I don't think we could, I think Champions League qualification is a massive ask. That's how far we've fallen, where a successful season for Man United is qualification for the Champions League. So that equates to, we've come fourth. Well done. Let's all go on a great summer holiday.
Right.
Why we're not going to get Declan Rice? We've got no chance getting Declan Rice if we're not in the top four. And everybody seems to be now thinking, well, we've got to go for him. Yeah, we need to go for him, but it's still not the answer. I don't think the Glazers are going to spend 100 million on one player.
Yeah.
My personal, we need to get someone like Neves. And I still like Basuma from Brighton. And I'm not saying that's the answer, but I'm saying that's a start.
Right.
Because there's a lot of that team. We're going to need a centre forward because Cavani's gone, Ronaldo's gone, Greenwood's, let's be honest, gone. He'll be playing for the prison team against, Wormwood Scrubs away or something. Yeah. So there's a massive change that needs to happen. And the team's changing week to week. 1 minute it's this person playing, and they're out, and it's someone else in. Rangnick's most important role at our club is his next job. People have said that to me before, and bloody hell, they're right. So the end of this season, we could be lurching from disaster to disaster. I wouldn't be surprised if we finished 7th or 8th.
Yeah. No, I can't argue with too much of what you're saying there. I think for me, right, the whole position, there's certain positions where we're extremely lacking. And you're right about that. Obviously, defensive midfield. Declan Rice is a great player to me. I've been saying that for a while. I would not buy him at the price of asking. I would never do. I think that's one of the issues that we've had. We've reached players like I'm not saying Declan Rice is Harry Maguire. I think he's a way better player than that. But we've reached for players in the past. Overpaid. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we've overpaid. Harry Maguire, we overpaid. The list goes on, right? I think we need to, and I hope Brandon does this, is we need to get back to the way Liverpool, I don't want to say exactly the way Liverpool are doing things, but do you see how they make signings? It's shrewd and it works. It fits. They're not diving in the deep end every single time. They want not luxury signings like we signed Ronaldo, we signed Sancho, we signed Varane. on paper that sounds amazing, but as it currently stands, it's not doing anything. So for me, yes, you're right, Neil. We need a defensive midfielder. I think that was clear on Friday. McTominay is one day he's like this, the next day he's whatever. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I like this better. I tested something out right there. But
I look better smaller screen.
Smaller screen.
Oh, I look better when the lights go out.
When the lights go out. Oh man, I should probably get some champagne with you. I feel bad I didn't do that,
but it's in your honor, and it's in honor of the babes at 3 o'clock.
Yes, so, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But
my dad will be having a glass this afternoon as well.
No, for sure. But like I said, I'm excited to see what Randy does when he goes into his next role. But unfortunately, we have the team we have right now, right? And I still believe we can get top 4. I know it's probably optimistic. But I think he's gonna. I think we're seeing improvements. I know it's crazy to say that because we've been like this since he's joined, but I think he's building. Look a lot more disciplined. If that makes sense. A lot of the issues is the quality that the players are showing. Getting in the position. And then when the moment comes. It's just a lack of. It's like before with Ollie, we weren't creating chances. We were leaking in goals left and right. Now at least we see a bit more solid at the back, and now we're beginning to create more chances as each game goes on. Right. So I think that we're improving. But we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, there's so much that seems to be wrong with the club at the moment. On the pitch, off the pitch, I'm not going to talk. I've mentioned Greenwood, but I mean, even outside of that, I didn't expect the club to back the manager in January. We don't normally back the managers in January. The only decent January we've ever had was when we signed Vidic and Evra.
Right.
And you're going back way into the Ferguson years. When we signed those two, but we're not normally a club that does business in the January. I know we're as fans, we're screaming out for something, but I don't believe anything's going to happen until the new manager is. If that's my doppelganger, which is Ten Hag, because let's be honest, starting to look a bit like him now, or he's starting to look a bit like me, or Poch, which is my personal choice.
Yep, I agree with you on that.
So, and I could explain that to the cows come home why I picked Poch.
Yeah, we can have that
discussion. Yeah, the team at the moment just looks. It's got no confidence. I like what it seems that Ranieri's trying his best, but it's like he's polishing a turd at the moment. If you understand the analogy of that.
Yeah.
Because the players just don't seem to be putting it into play. And the 3 big signings we made at the start of the season. Let's be brutally honest. And you've got to be honest when you look back on this, because there's enough of the season that's gone by. None of them are pulling up any trees. Sancho, I saw something on Twitter. His nickname is Bencho because he's on the bloody bench more than he's on the pitch.
Yeah.
Varane always had, been injured. Ronaldo, I'm sorry. I had a bet with a mate of mine that he wouldn't have scored as many goals as Cavani scored last year. For United, we had a 50 quid bet on that, and I think I might win that, especially if he keeps taking penalties like he did the other night. And we just look really lightweight. Suddenly we've gone lightweight.
Yeah.
I know Greenwood's out of the squad, but suddenly the attacking options, which 3 or 4 months ago we look really good going forward.
Right.
Suddenly, one or two, a couple of people gone. And we looked at. I mean, I'm glad Martial's gone, and I loved him when he started, but he hasn't earned his money. He hasn't earned his money. I believe Ranieri when he says he didn't want to play. Why would Ranieri? Why else would he say that? The Lingard situation is laughable. The Jones situation is laughable. He didn't want to go to Bordeaux, so he didn't want to play football. But I'll stay in Manchester and I'll keep taking my money off the club. So what the hell's going on with this club? And letting Lingard have 2 days off after he's been. Did you see those pictures of him in Dubai with Rashford?
Yeah.
He looked like the world's worst. He looked like the world. He looked like Nelly from about 25 years ago. You probably don't remember Nelly. He looked like the worst rapper in the world. And then he comes back from Dubai, and they give him 2 days off. I mean, but I tell you what, as I've said it before, I bet he's still picking his wages up, even though he's had a weekend off. It's an absolute. The club's becoming a fuck. Imagine this under Ferguson. He'd have gone ballistic. I bet he is going ballistic.
I tweeted this the other day. I said Sir Alex is a much better man than me because he comes to almost every game, and he sits there and he watches the thing that he built literally just crumble. You know, he's been watching it for almost 10 years now. You know, I remember the image of him during the Liverpool loss, the 5-0 Liverpool loss. You could just see it in his face where he couldn't even believe it. It was almost like you know, he's older now. He's a little bit more docile, right? So,
I don't know about that. My dad's seen him at the races, and he still goes mental when his horses win.
Oh yeah.
So he's not as docile as you. I don't think he is. I bet. I mean, I know his wife would. Well, like I know her, but I don't. But I imagine his wife would like him to be a bit calmer. But I imagine when he goes home after that Liverpool game, I bet he didn't sleep a wink that night. But I bet the players did in their very expensive, large, comfortable beds.
Right. I think, and also people forgive me for the audio issues. I know there's been a bit of a challenge here. We were trying to work on it before the live stream, but it's going to have to work today.
I apologize for my Brummie accent as well, which is probably causing audio issues as well.
No, it's all good. But what was I saying here? I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yes, Sir Alex. And, you know, I know we get on these players for the amount they get paid, you know, the lives that they live, and all that stuff. I really think that I don't think any of these players are bad people or that they're trying to leech money off the club. You know, I think some of them are just like you said, extremely overpaid, right? And that's not their fault. If you were in their position, right? If somebody offers you, if you were Dean Henderson and they offered you a £100,000 a week contract, and you haven't done it. Sure, I'll take it.
Do you know we're paying nearly £600,000 a week to
goalkeepers?
Just to the goalkeepers.
Yeah.
I mean, for the love of God, what the agents of these goalkeepers, they should be running the economy. Never mind looking after the goalkeepers' wages. 600 grand on goalkeepers near us, damn it.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I wanted, and this is why I'm glad you're here. I wanted us to talk about the preview, but it's turned into a different discussion. I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. You know, the owners, our owners, don't know how to run sports teams. Period. You know, I know a lot of people in England have seen what happened with Tampa Bay over the past year and a half. They won a Super Bowl. You know, all that good stuff. But before Tom Brady got there, and they were referred to as the Succaneers.
Yeah, but didn't they? They did win the Super Bowl under Gruden.
Yes,
when the Glazers and they went after Gruden to get a Super Bowl. So was that nearly 20 years ago?
Close to it. But still think about it. Like,
2006, I think.
Let me give you a stat here to validate my point. Before Tom Brady, right? The Buccaneers had the worst winning percentage of all the sports teams in America over like a 10, 15 year span. So they don't know how to run. You can in the NFL and NBA, you can have moments, where a team does something, shocking, like a Leicester City, right? But they don't know how to run teams. Watch.
No, they've never.
You're gonna see it now. You're gonna see it now. Now that Tom Brady's retired, you're gonna see the team just plummet and go back to what they were.
They've lost back to what they were. Brady and Gronk, haven't they? So once those two go, the others will go.
Yep.
And they'll just go back to where they were. They'll suddenly level out because they've never been good in the draft.
Right. So to my
Now
point,
which is a good show. Now we're talking about all sports.
Right. But to my point, those people are the people running the biggest club, the biggest sports franchise, arguably in the world. You know, it's scary. It's actually scary. They don't have a clue what's going on. They've hired people. Now John Murtaugh's in charge. Who's John Murtaugh? What does he know about football? Seriously, what does he know about football? And now it's Arnold and Fletcher, right? Running the football stuff. It's a joke.
Does anybody know why Fletcher's suddenly on the bench?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I cannot understand it.
He was in the stands. Now he's suddenly on the bench. Now he was a decent player for United, but he didn't put. He was another one. We could rely on him, but for the love of God, where's it? It's too disjointed. It's like it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Like they're never ever going to finish this club at the moment. That's what I would say.
Right.
The pieces are there, but they just cannot put them in.
Yeah, it's crazy, Neil. It's crazy, Neil. Can you
just it's ridiculous.
I think I just lost you. Hold up. Alrighty, never mind. Okay, we're good. But yeah, it's a weird one, Neil. It's definitely a weird one. I really hope that like you mentioned, Ranić can do something, in terms of making a change in that front office, all that good stuff, because it's a challenge right now. It's a challenge right now. The way we're playing, the way the club is run up. People are saying that we had this cultural reboot. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it at all.
There's too many layers in the management structure, in my opinion, and you've got sort of the manager, and then you've got people above him, and people above them, and people above them. Then you've got it seems so many layers to get to the top. So why don't they remove a couple of layers, put Ranić in there, and then he reports. The manager reports into him, and then he reports to the board, and that's it. Put Ranić in as a director of football.
Right.
What the hell's consultant mean? I mean, that's pony. That is absolute pony.
Because the director of football,
we don't need a consultant.
Yeah, the director of football is Arnold now, right? Isn't that his technical term?
No. I think Arnold is more of the Woodward, but only on the business. He's not going to get involved in so much of the football side. He's more of the business sides. So next time the contract
I'm mixing it up. I'm mixing it up. Sorry, Murtaugh and Fletcher are together. Sorry.
Yeah, Arnold's in charge of the next time the contract comes up for the tractor supplier to Manchester United, the official tractor supplier. Then that's what Arnold's going to sort out, and we'll be wearing that logo on the shirts.
Right. Okay, so I got it now. Well, you know what, Neil? I'm going to bring you back. We're going to have a discussion about this, but I want to talk about the Burnley versus Manchester United game coming up. And you brought up we put up our best 11 against Middlesbrough. Is that our best 11? I think on paper. I think a lot of people think that's our best 11, in terms of talent and
I differ. I mean, you know me, Temi. I've been a fan of Wan-Bissaka from the moment we signed him.
Yeah, same.
I know his form's fallen off the cliff a bit, but I do look at him as I think he's still a better defender than Dalot. And you look at the Middlesbrough goal the other night, and Dalot wasn't even in the picture when they scored their goal. So I'm not sure where he didn't seem to be anywhere near the play that was going on that come down his side. So I don't know where. I'm not saying that it would have been different under Wan-Bissaka, but I still think. I thought Henderson did really well the other night. I don't think he's going to push De Gea out. And I was a massive advocate the season before last was that we should have sold De Gea, got some decent money for him, reinvested it in the team, i.e. get a central midfielder, a holding midfielder, and put Henderson in goal. If we thought he was going to be the future, stick him in then, save on De Gea's wages and get him out. Now, De Gea's proved his point, and I know how you feel about De Gea, and it's hard to disagree that De Gea has been magnificent. I think Maguire and Varane is the best centre-half pairing, because you can't argue, and I know, now, I don't have to be a detective to work this out, Temi. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm pretty certain you're not a fan of Maguire, but the best, since he's come back into the side,
he's looked good. He's looked decent.
We have looked decent. Now, the 80 million quid is nothing to do with him.
But I think
there's always a United tax when we sign a player. If he'd have gone to Liverpool, he'd have probably been closer to 60 million.
They wouldn't have bought him for 80 million. They wouldn't have bought him for 60.
They wouldn't have bought him for 60.
Yeah, but we did anyway. Right. So we are where we are with him, and he's more of an old school centre half.
Does he deserve to be in the side though?
Yes.
Let me
stand on me.
Let me tell you why I disagree with you.
Didn't have a rest after the Euros.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I disagree with you. So I think Victor has. If we look at every player we've had this season, and just talk about who has been the most consistent. I would say David De Gea is one. And then I would go Victor Lindelof. In terms of healthiness. The player who's made the least mistakes, who's been the most consistent, it's definitely been Victor. And obviously, you mentioned Harry's come back in, and he's looked good. I agree with that. I'm not denying that. But I think before Victor, unfortunately got his house robbed and all that good stuff. I thought he was playing great, and I thought he was just playing the way he was playing before Randy came in, right? I just think he's a better footballer personally. Like you're mentioning, Harry's a bit old school. But I think he's just so inconsistent to me. I think he's woefully inconsistent. Go ahead.
My big problem with Lindelof is he does this all the time. He gets caught under the ball such a lot. So if a ball's played in the air and it's in his direction, he gets caught under the ball so many times that he's like looking at it. Do I make a move for it? And by the time he's made the move, the ball's gone. And that happens to him a lot. It doesn't happen too much to Maguire because he knows he hasn't got the pace.
Yeah.
So I think his positioning is probably better than Lindelof's under the longer ball.
In the air, you're right.
Maguire's got Varane, who's quick and can fall in behind him. So Varane's pace can get Maguire out of trouble. It's football is all about opinions. It has been for 100 years, and it will be for as long as it ever lasts. But I personally would. Maguire's playing well. The defence, weirdly, even though we're junk, our best part of our team at the moment is the defence.
Yeah,
whereas
100%.
It was the attempt. So at the moment, I really wouldn't. I can't give an argument to change the defense.
Right. So that's completely fair. Your point on AWB is also taken. I think you know this. I was defending him.
I know you liked him
a lot. I just think personally, I saw this season specifically. I saw a comfortability that was problematic to me. Same thing with Luke Shaw. I'm a big fan of Luke Shaw. I like AWB, but I think that AWB just got way too comfortable. He just knew every single time I go out on that play, I'm going to start. If Ali is the manager, I am going to start. And he just regressed. He regressed. Some of the stuff that we loved about him in his first season, right? Disappeared. That positional awareness that we're talking about. He was getting caught out on the back post constantly. Just his overall awareness, his passing, I thought he improved a ton on his passing last season. This season, it kind of looked like he regressed again, and he just looks confused on the ball. At least Dallo is giving us an option to cross. Yes, he's a little bit defensively weak, but I think a part of our defense being better is that we're passing out of the back better, and Dallo's a big part of that. He's not a weakness on the ball, right? Whereas AWB,
I agree with that. I think where Dallo's strong, AWB is weak. Where AWB is still strong, I think Dallo might be slightly weak. So, right. But at the moment, there's no argument to change the back four. I like Shaw at left back. I don't rate. I think the only reason they signed Tellez was to kick Shaw's ass, and that's worked.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tellez goes in the summer. You never know with this club. But there's no reason to change the back four and the goalkeeper at the moment. Right. Every position in front of that, throw them up in the air.
Up for grabs.
Yeah, it's all up for grabs. Everything is up for grabs. You know what? I'm disappointed that Cavani's been injured. That's been a massive blow for us.
But that was always going to be. But I'm not. You're sad. But are you surprised? That's kind of what his career has been for the past 6 years.
Yeah, because he's done off work. He's the hardest working player. He's nearly the hardest working player at the club. No, you look at the stats. And I hate all this stats crap. But you look how much he works.
No, 100%, but he's not reliable. He's not reliable. And this is, we'll talk about the midfield and front players. We have about 15 minutes. We have about 15 minutes now. We want to make sure we're attentive to the 3 p.m. timeline. But for instance, right, one of my big, I love Paul Pogba. Let me just give you an example. One of my favorite players. He just can't stay healthy, and that's a huge issue. I think his biggest criticism you can lay upon him, and it's not his fault, but he's injury prone. He's so injury prone. He can't stay healthy, and if a player can't, a player's going to be out for 4-5 months in a season. What's the value there? What is the value there?
What is the value there? There's none. I mean, the Pogba thing, I think you and I have been quite similar on the Pogba thing. I went through a stage where I didn't want us to have him back because of the way he left in the first place under Ferguson, and the way Ferguson was like, his agents are, I'm not going to swear on a Sunday afternoon, but his agents are Rick with a silent P. So, you're not dealing with the agent. So get rid of Pogba. He wanted 30 grand a week at 17. He goes off. Right. Then we'd re-sign him. And we paid, 89, 90 million or whatever it was. We put him on unbelievable wages. We put 400 grand a week on the table for a player that's massively injury prone. And it seems that we only seem to be interested in signing him for his commercial value, because his football value isn't 400 grand a week. And I would personally, when it comes to the midfield, I just rip that up and start again. So I'd be quite happy for him to go. We're not going to get any money for him because he's going to walk away for nothing. He's going to really stitch the club up. He could have gone in, we couldn't sell him in January because he was injured. But he's going to stitch the club up. So we're going to leave 40, 50 million quid on the table while still paying him a fortune.
Right.
I think the whole midfield needs to be ripped up. And one of the issues they got is, where do they play Fernandes?
And let's talk about that. This is a real concern for me. I'll be real, Neil. When Bruno came in, I thought he was such a breath of fresh air.
Magnificent.
Goals, assists, just wonderful. Wonderful. We have to have a conversation about it. I want to be real, Neil. He has a lot of improvement. There's a lot of things that needs to improve. I think because we've been so poor over the past few seasons, and he's just so united. He's so invested in Manchester United. You can tell he cares about the club. He cares about wanting us to do well. That we gravitated towards him as a fan base, and kind of ignored the stuff that hurts our team when it comes to him. If you look at Friday, right? We he starts off really well, and then you could the issues that for me in his game start popping up. The passing was poor, the quality was poor. And sometimes I think he hurts our team. I'll be real about it. We give Pogba a lot of stick for well, Pogba has gotten a lot of stick for the Hollywood pass or not running, not being defensively sound. A lot of those things you could levy at Bruno. A lot of those things you could levy at Bruno.
Yeah, you could. But the thing is with Bruno, and this is what happened last season, in my opinion, was he got flogged to death by Ole. He played every single game. He played 90 minutes every single game, and it was all on Bruno, Bruno, Bruno. And now it seems to be happening again because he is your talisman, which whatever that means.
Right.
And they roll this word out whenever they like. It seems to be a word that the media love to use. But he becomes the team's talisman. So there's a lot of pressure on Brew. I think there's a lot of pressure on him. You looked. We flogged him to death last season. You looked how bad he was in the Euros. He couldn't even get. He couldn't get in the side. We started this season. He started really well when the team was doing well, and I think there's a lot of pressure on him because I think he's looked on that he's the answer because the other elements of the other front three just ain't doing it. Rashford's been poor. Sancho poor. Greenwood, wearing stripes. The front, the two centre forwards, one injured, one's out of form. So the only creative force we've got with any sort of consistency from any point in the season, to me, is Bruno. So it's like, well, we want Bruno. No fans are going to come out and, I can't imagine that the fans are going to come out and have a pop at Ronaldo because he's a club legend and all this sort of stuff, and he is. Right. But there's a lot of pressure. I think there's more pressure on Bruno than any other player in that team.
That's a fair. I didn't think about it that way. That's a fair call.
And he's still only a young man, and he's only.
So he's
still 20. A young man, mate.
He's 25, 26, right? So that's
he
is young. He is young. But I think there's a lot of things in this game that I don't know if he'll ever improve it. Right? I think he'll always want to try that Hollywood ball when it's not necessarily needed.
Is he given the opportunity to improve it, or is it at the moment that he hasn't got the time to improve it because he's getting flogged to death? So he hasn't got the time to maybe improve his game. At the moment, It's like, well, he does the 90 minutes, we drag him off, he sits in an ice bath for 5 days and a chamber, and then we wheel him out again, and off you go again. Because let's be honest, he's the player. If we're going to beat Burnley, and I can't believe I'm saying if we're going to beat Burnley, and Burnley are muck, right? If we're going to beat Burnley, Bruno's the player I look to get us over the line against Burnley. Who else are you going to look for?
It's a weird one. I think we need to find more balance in our team. I hear what you're saying.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The balance is all over the place.
I think that we need to. I think Ralph is working on this. He's he's figured out that us playing a 4-2-2-2 was never going to work. We thought it might. We don't have the players for it.
I think Stuart said the 4-2-2 was never a 4-2-2. It was more of a
4-4-2
diamond pattern.
And
it did sort of look like that. But do you think the players are responding to Ranić in terms of they know he's gone at the end of the season? So the longer this goes on, the closer Ranić gets to moving upstairs, and the players go, well, new manager comes in, we'll change our attitude for this guy.
Right.
Players have got this interim thing. It's not good.
No, I agree.
It's a contributor to all the factors that are going on at United. Another interim manager. And I read somewhere the other day, they said, we should give Ranić the job full time because he started well. We did that with Ollie. How did that work out?
No, I don't think we should give Ranić the job full time. Neil, I had a plan of what I wanted us to do today. I think we need to. I'm gonna readjust. This is just a conversation with Temi and Neil. That's what I'm gonna rename this. This 40 minutes.
You know what I'm doing, mate. I go all over the charts. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry. We're gonna. No. This is. I'm still kind of young in this. I'm making mistakes. I'm learning. I'm trying to figure out how I want to go about this channel, all that stuff. Guys, apologies for the echo. I know there's some echo on here. I'm gonna work on that. Work on that soon. But we're gonna round up really quickly. I think I'm gonna go live tomorrow afternoon to talk about the Burnley game. I'll real quick, Neil. What are your thoughts on the Burnley game and what are your predictions? Score predictions.
This game worries me because I'm not sure Ranieri's ever come up against a team like Burnley with, you know, a Sean Dyche team, if you like, because I think they'll be right at us. They'll be getting right stuck in, and Burnley's it's one of those games. I mean, you know, years ago it was when we played Bolton and stuff like that. You know, away at Bolton on a night,
right? You
know, or at home to Bolton on a Tuesday night when it's, and this coming on the back of Friday, where they must be they better be hugely disappointed as a squad. I've got a feeling Ranieri he might bring some changes, but I think that, I mean, Maguire's definitely going to play, by the way, especially against a Burnley team. And it's going to be quite interesting to see how they react. I mean, I imagine Ronaldo's going to get kicked up in the air every single time he goes near the ball. Burnley centre half's going to whack him all over the place. They've got a really good goalkeeper, Burnley, even though we're paying their last one 60 grand. Oh, I know he went to Villa for a bit.
Right.
I worry about the Burnley game because I just think our club is a bit of a shambles at the moment.
Right.
Like I said, it's like a jigsaw. All the pieces are there, but no one can put them. No one can see where they need to go.
Right. Final score prediction for you in that game.
Oh, 1-1.
1-1. Okay. 1-1. I'll give my score prediction tomorrow, guys. Yeah, I'll give my score prediction tomorrow, guys. But real quick, I wanted to say, Neil, I'm muting you only so I can. I think we're just going to test this audio out. But Neil, thank you so much again, my good friend, for hopping on with me. This has been so good. I'm going to get you on the channel more, obviously. We're going to figure out the audio problems. Maybe we'll do a little test before 3 o'clock. But guys, thank you so much for hopping on with us. It's been a lot of fun. Make sure to hit the like button. Thank you for getting me to 200 subscribers, guys. Really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like button for me. Tomorrow I'm going to go live for us so we can go over the Burnley versus Manchester United game more in depth. Okay, guys, I will talk to all of you very, very shortly. Deuces.